Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Anime One back with another video, and today I'm here with another part of What If Naruto was neglected and had Isshiki's karma. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. This is the fourth match of the day. Two people were had a place in Naruto's life. Sayori Uchiha, formerly one of his bullies and now a trusted comrade, and a teammate against Mito Uzumaki, a former sister, although she still claims to be his sister and now a fellow genin. Naruto looked at Sayori, who was stretching her body and looking rather calm. "Think you'll be able to take her down?" Naruto said with a smirk. He already knew who he was rooting for. Sayori smirked as she turned her head to see an angry Uzumaki girl glaring at her. "Oh yes, he's none of my concern to me. Just you watch." Yoichi just shouted, "You better win," as Shisui laughed. "Well, she is strong and comes from the legendary Uzumaki family. She does pose a great enough threat as Kushina, and Hokage-sama have been training her for years." Naruto grunted as he hated to believe it, but his sensei was right. Unlike Menma, Mito was at least had some skill of what she learned from their parents. The time at the wave proved to be true, but she wasn't a total threat to him. Sayori, on the other hand, he wasn't so sure how well her skill will take her. Naruto turned to Sayori and stated at her, "Don't lose." She continued to glare at Mito and spoke, "Got it. Because later on, I want to fight you too." Sayori. The girl broke her concentration off Mito and turned to him with a shock written all over her face. They stared at each other and none of them spoke a word for a while. It wasn't if a surprise that besides their feeling they had for each other, it was a sense of rivalry between them. It was just that no one outright admitted that, until Naruto himself just said it now. To others around them, it may seem like it's petty little feud that was going on between them, but the two were notorious back in the academy, not liking one another. To them, it was more like it was saying, "I acknowledge your strength, you're my equal," kind of thing. It has inspired Sayori to be, because he knew he felt the same as her. She stopped standing there so stiffly and spoke with a genuine smile. "Got it." Naruto smiled too, as she walked off, nodding at the rest of her team. As Isshiki spoke inside Naruto's head, "Do you think she can win?" Naruto shrugged his shoulder. "Beats me. Sayori is strong, no doubt about it. We've trained together, so her taijutsu is something to be feared. Whenever it's genin, that is, and her jutsu isn't bad either. She's deadly in her shuriken jutsu, and she can pull through. But Mito, on the other hand, is something that I don't know about." As Yoichi tuned into the conversation, as he started a conversation with Naruto. "Well, how do you think it's gonna go? But do you think Sayori is gonna win? Naruto, since Mito is your sister. I mean, you told us that you never trained with them, but surely you know what she specializes in." Naruto shook his head. "No, I don't. Unfortunately, I usually skipped out on watching the family train when I was with them, and Mito only used to train in taijutsu around while I was watching." He lied. He knew that she could actively call upon, well, the Kyuubi's chakra at her own will upon rage, but he didn't need for Sayori or Yoichi to trip over that. Sayori still has a chance, but if Mito pulls off the tail beast chakra, it'll be extremely difficult for the Uchiha to win. Mito moved to the stairs, passing by Team 12. She smiled at Naruto. "Are you gonna wish me luck, brother?" "Yeah," she said with her tongue sticked out. "Yeah, right. Just get lost. Sayori's gonna beat your ass already. I just wanna go home." Naruto said, with a tick mark on his forehead. Mito got a tick mark on her forehead, but he ignored him for a while. Well, very well then. I'll make sure that bitch pays for what's gonna happen to her for just for taking you away from our family, she said. Naruto glared at her. I was never part of your petty little family, Mito. Just get that. Mito got a sad look on her face as he heard that. Menma gritted his teeth as he walked towards Naruto. He pinned Naruto towards the wall as he screamed at him. After the match is over, you'll apologize to her, you good-for-nothing loser. I don't know why she cares for garbage like you, but she didn't deserve that. Shisui grabbed Menma off Naruto, who remained silent. Hey, hands off yourself, brat, or you should be disqualified, he said. Like you're the one to talk about garbage. Why the hell would I acknowledge her when she never acknowledged me? Like you and your Uzumaki family have left me to my own time and time again. Where was my good luck when I was starting to train? Where was my good luck when I was starting at the academy? I never got all that shit. Always go away, not now, or you're not worth our time. Or sometimes even beat me to a pulp, Narcissus shouted in his face before going quiet. Kushina was in the stand and with Minato were just hanging their heads in shame. Kakashi came back right in time. Yo, he said before analyzing the grim aura around the arena. Did I miss something? He said with a sweat mark, getting everyone's eye at him. His usual non-caring attitude was actually useful for once. It defeated the situation before the tension got any heavier. Naruto had his back against the wall. He watched the match below with what was his name? Yoriichi, as they were switching glances between Sari, who was beginning a fight, and Naruto, who was pretty upset that he just didn't want to watch the show anymore. Shisui sighed. This is gonna be a tough subject for me to touch, he said as he moved towards Naruto. And Yoriichi. Naruto was just simply standing there looking down at the arena. You know, Naruto, I know you don't want to hear this right now, but I need to say this. Whatever hatred you have towards your family, you're right. The whole team turned as sock. Naruto uttered those words. Shisui said. You're right. I don't want to hear you have say any regards to my family. It's none of your concern. Shisui glared at him. Listen, kid. These are people who are going out of the way to show they care about you. They are going nuts thinking about the fact that you hate them and absolutely want nothing to do with them. Don't you think I don't know what the little bet you have got going on between them? I know everything. And if you think you can ignore all that shit, Naruto, you are a moron. Naruto glared at him. Don't call me that. Furthermore, I have nothing to prove to you, Shisui-sensei. Keep further pushing the matter. You're only gonna wreck our team trust, which is already getting wrecked. This has nothing to do with you. I don't care how hard they're trying. They're only doing this because this year am I suffering for years. So they better start kissing my toes all over to suck my dick before I have a raging thought of ever truly forgiving them. End of the conversation, Shisui. He said before turning to the match, leaving Shisui just to sigh. Both girls were standing on the ground as the tension was high. Are you both ready? Genma asked as both of them nodded their heads as he announced. First round. Let's begin. Sasuke Uchiha and Mito Uzumaki Namikaze. Battle begin. He yelled as he jumped back. "You're ready to lose," Mito said. "I won't lose to you, Hokage's daughter or not. You are too weak for me," said Akam Suksari. "Weak? You don't understand you're going against, do you? I have. I don't want to hear your introduction of yourself and your parents. You might have the Hokage and the Uzumaki's child, but I know that you're a bad sister," Sayuri said, hitting a sore spot for Mito. "Shut up. We're trying our best to get Naruto back into our family," yelled Mito to Sayuri. "There shouldn't be trying to. It should have never happened in the first place. He let your older brother out for the streets to live for himself, and you hate him like everyone else. You and your family are the worst of his abusers because you are family, and you still treated him like trash. Your mother held both the soul and the chakra of the QB, but you're treated like a demon? No, your family is just a bunch of hypocrites," accused Sayuri, making everyone in the stadium quiet. "How dare you?" Mito yelled at her. "How dare me? How dare you? You hated Naruto, but then act like you wanted him back to be a part of your family, like it never happened. Just 2 months ago, you were cursing his name. Now look at you, running for Naruto when it's already too late. Who would have even let their own child by themselves just because of their status? This village is corrupted to its bone," said Sayuri, looking at Minato and Kushina when she said that. "That's why I will become Hokage, and I'll make sure that everyone will treat it nicely and fairly, like how they should be," yelled Sayuri, surprising the people that she wanted to become Hokage. "Newsflash, you won't be the Hokage." "I will," Mito said, as a sword. She took out a sword from her hand. "You want to play with swords? Fine with me, but you won't last," said Sayuri as she removed her arm cups and to reveal a storage seal. She put some chakra into it and took out her mother's sword. Looked down at the scene with a smile on her face. Sayuri spoke. It's ironic, isn't it? Your mother and my mother were rivals, and you have your mother's sword, and I have mine. Let's see if you truly live up to the name of Kushina Uzumaki's daughter, but I doubt that you do. It's like history repeating itself. The sword you have is that one that your mother had, the legendary Uzumaki sword, and the sword that I have is the one that my mother had. It's like the rivalry just runs in our blood. Don't you agree, Mito?" Sayuri said with a smirk as her sword started crackling with lightning. "I could say the same," Mito said. "And remember one thing, Mito. The day you become Hokage," Sayuri said, charging up her sword, lightning coming out from the sword as blasting her sword. Sayuri controlled the lightning and it danced around her, and the blue sparks made Sayuri shine like the beauty she was. "Is the day I'll leave Konoha," Sayuri yelled as he rushed towards Mito in amazing speed. Mito had a hard time to pair with Sayuri's swipes with her sword, but forgot about the other one, and she made a swipe with her left arm, making a gash over there. Mito jumped back as he watched the gash of her arm gain smoke. Noticing the mark that started to heal at a slow place, he looked back up to see Sayuri, only that she wasn't there. What? She was cut off as Sayuri came from the side and kicked her in the face, making her fly away from the force behind it. "You're too slow for me," Sayuri said to her. Mito came out of the rubble with an angry scowl on her face. "I'm coming for you now, Sayuri," she yelled as chains erupted from her back and charged at Sayuri. The two met in the middle of the arena and clashed their swords. Sayuri used the other to swipe at her again, but the chains in her back caught the attack. She went for a kick at her chin, but she bent back to dodge the attack. Sayuri then charged up her sword and ready for her next attack. Lightning barrier. banquet of lightning, she said as she jumped away from Mito, leaving one of her swords that was caught up in Mito's chain. The lightning then started to come down as the arena where Mito was and crashed on top of her. The sword was acting as a lightning conductor. Ah! Mito screamed out as he received the full blast of the attack. Once it ended, Mito fell to the ground. Weak. I didn't even have to use my shouting gun to beat you, she said as she walked over to Mito's body and grabbed her sword. Sayuri turned her head towards Genma. It's done, please. She then looked down on Mito, grabbed her ankle. No, not yet, she said. Get off me, she said as she took her hand off him. Then she widened her eyes as red chocolate took over Mito's body. She got up to reveal red eyes just like Menma, and her nails grew and her whisker marks became more defined than before. Her teeth sharpened as she looked at Sayuri with an angry scowl. I'm not done with you, Mito yelled as he ran up to Sayuri. Sayuri had to duck to avoid the punch she threw at him. Then she straightened up and kneed her in the stomach. She took the hit and grabbed Sayuri by her collar and headbutted him on her forehead. She let go and kicked her in the stomach, making her fly back. Did that wake you up? Fight me seriously, she yelled as red talk surrounded her. Sayuri looked up at her and wiped the side of her mouth with the back of her hand. She stood up and looked at her, gripping her sword handles tightly. Yeah, I heard you, loud and clear, she said. Then she activated her shotgun gun. 3 tomoes appeared and circled around her black people. Then you shall still you lose to me, she said with a smile. Mito growled and ran up to her, cocked back her hand in a punch, but shocked when Sayuri dodged. What? How can she dodge me with the speed that I'm going at? Mito thought as she went back in for a kick, but Sayuri caught it with her hand. Sayuri threw her grounded ready with her sword. Lightning, tornado, dragon, she yelled as her swords had made a large lightning surrounded and charged at Mito. Mito made a hand sign ready herself with her own jutsu. Water style, water bullet dragon. She sent a dragon made out of water at Sayuri's dragon. The two made at the middle and they clashed. Sayuri dragons broke through the charged and charged towards Mito, but she was ready. Water style, drilling water spears, and used the water of her attack to make twisting drills off the water towards the dragon. The drills pierced to the dragon and make it explode. The rest of the drills went towards Sayuri. She jumped up to the drills and to cut them down with her sword, taking no damage at all. When she made it to the ground, she used her next technique, fire style, Great Fireball Jutsu, and launched a fireball towards Mito. Mito made her chakra change into a shield and stopped the attack. When it ended, she brought down her chains, only to see Sayuri was gone. She looked around to see her on the side of the arena, charging up her attack. Sayuri was glaring down at Mito and sent lightning chakra to her palm. Lightning erupted from her hand as she looked down at Mito. Get ready. This one will do more than just to hurt you. And ran down to the side of the wall, purple lightning crackling at her hand. Kakashi looked at Shisui. You are the one who taught her that, aren't you? He said. Shisui smirked. Indeed I am. Your Chidori is very strong, but your lightning blade is an improved technique of the Chidori. But this technique, on the other hand, is more versatile, you could say. You could use it in many other ways except for the assassination technique. Sayuri, there's no way that she's gonna lose. It's the technique that she created herself. The true genius of the Uchiha clan is her, Shisui said with a smirk. Mito made a clone with its help and made a small blue orb of chakra. She rushed towards Sari, and the two met in the middle of the arena with their techniques at full power. Purple Lightning, Rasengan. The two clashed. A major blast of force came from the two techniques. For a while, the two were even, but Sari started to push forward. You're still too weak, she said as she pushed forward. A cloud of smoke blocked everyone's view. When it cleared, it revealed Sari's panting a little, and Mito on her knees, a first sight gaze on her shoulder. I'm surprised you're still conscious. It must be because of the Kyuubi's chakra though, not your own. I have no demonic chakra helping me, and I still won. Remember, I don't care what your family you came from. You still can lose. I learned that the hard way, and you should too. Sari said as she looked up at the stand to see Sasuke looking at her with jealousy all over his face. How the hell did he get so strong? What the hell was that technique? It was similar to... You remember Kakashi using that technique against Zabuza? Couldn't be, he thought. As the battle cleared, that's something I had to learn. It was hard, but I learned it from him. She looked up to see Naruto again, but she smiled at him. Naruto just looked at her with a small smirk, as he was actually hard touched. Did she really defend him so much? Why did she? He could never understand the girl, but whatever, he thought. Winner of the match, Sari Uchiha, Genma announced. The stand. Wow, Shisui, you really trained your students well, said Asuma as he took a whiff from his secret. No, I just improvised. Improved Suki's fighting. Everything you saw was all her, he said. So, what your students said at the preliminaries? Well, you truly are a slave driver, aren't you? Kurenai said, appearing, chiming in the conversation. Shisui scratched the back of his head. For Yoriichi and Sari, I admit that, but for Naruto, he is already strong enough, even without my training, so there's not much I can teach him. He does everything on his own and refuses to get any training from me. Well, I've only given him a few pointers with that mark of his, but nothing more. You mean the mark that, yes, that popped up in the middle of the battle, that gave him the power boost. It truly is a frightening mark. I don't think even Orochimaru's curse mark holds a candle against the power boost that mark provides. It's just too great. Shisui said you could seriously see the tone that shifted in his voice. That mark was frightening him to some extent because it was human nature. While things that people didn't understood, they feared it. Shisui was also a human, so he feared that mark as well. I really don't want to go over the other matches since they're not that significant. I'll just call the names of the people who won their rounds. So yeah, so let's start it. Everyone who won their matches were standing at the middle of the ground. So everyone was handed in a paper. So they were just, well, waiting. Everyone called out their numbers. 1 said Naruto, 2 said Yugito, 3 said Sasuke, 4 said Gaara, 5 said Shikamaru, 6 said Tamari, 7 said Sari, 8 said Menma, 9 said Konkuro, 10 said Sino, 11 said Neji, 13 said Dosu. So Genma wrote everyone matches on the blackboard as the matches were announced. The matches will proceed like this. Round 1 is gonna be Naruto versus Yukito. Round 2 is gonna be Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara of the Sand. Round 3 is gonna be Shikamaru Nara versus Temari of the Sand. Round 4 is gonna be
Menma Uzumaki Namikaze versus Sayori Uchiha. Round 5 is gonna be Conqueror of the Sand versus Sino Aburome. Round 6 is gonna be Neji Hyuga versus Yoriichi Kubutsuji. And that is gonna be there. The Hokage will take it from here. Genma said as he jumped back as Minato stepped forward. Congratulations on making it this far. The tuning exams will be held in 1 month from now on, Minato said. Why not have it right now? Asked Tamori. Because your opponents have seen your moves. A month will be given to you to train and learn moves to get the advantage over your opponents. Now to explain the finals work, said Minato. The first battle will be held on day 1, starting for the finals. The more you win the finals, the more the fights will you'll be able to fight for another day. Seeing the chart is now. The finals will last 4 days, so go on and get stronger. And when you come back for the finals, represent your village well. That is all. See you all in a month's time, Minato said as he went towards Kushina. The team started to disperse, but Naruto pulled Yoriichi and Sayori to the side. What is it, Naruto? Is it about the training we'll be doing for the month? Yoriichi asked. No, it's the complete opposite of that, if I must say so myself. Naruto said as he looked at Sayori and Yoriichi. What is that? Yoriichi asked. We are no longer our team, stated Naruto. What? The two said. You heard me. You both are strong. I told you that we would prove Konoha wrong, and we did. We passed the expectations for this team, and now I don't need you two anymore. Naruto said. Naruto, you don't mean that, right? Now, said Yoriichi. He knew that his friend was lying. I mean everything I say. The team is over. The future shall change. We'll split our paths. I'm really doing this early. I have no use for you two anymore. Goodbye, he said as he started to walk away. Naruto, Sayori yelled as he looked at Naruto's retreating form. Naruto! Sayori yelled as he ran up to Naruto. By this time, he was turning to the corner. Sayori went around the corner and placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. So you don't need us anymore and walk away. After everything that we have been through as a team, Sayori whispered as she looked down, her head saddening her eyes. Yes, train on your own. Your Sisri sensei has been training you. That should be plenty for you to pass the exams and defeat Menma, Naruto said as he shrugged off his hand off his shoulder. Naruto. Sorry, yelled, making Naruto stop. I have the feeling deep down you don't want to leave, because if you do, you'll be lonely again. Where are you leaving? For real? Give me an explanation now. Sorry, yelled. Naruto turned his head over his shoulder and looked at Sayori. Our paths differ. I will never be as the same as you. I will never choose this village over my own safety. I'm a selfless person, Sayori. A heart like your. I don't know why he loves a heart like mine. Naruto said that as he smirked, seeing her reaction. I knew that right from the beginning. We will have a conversation later on in the days, but for right now, goodbye, Naruto said as he disappeared. Sayori just stayed there as she took some step back and dropped to her knees. Yoriichi came towards her. He, he, he knew, she said. Yoriichi nodded. He knew how you felt. It's just that Naruto notices the sign, but even if he loves you, he probably doesn't know it's Sayori. Naruto is not like us. He has never grown in a family like you did. Even I had somewhat as a supporter, but now it's all just a fantasy. Naruto really was different. We have to accept it. That's how it is. But Naruto will always be our friend. He's just doing this early on so that he doesn't hurt us. Sisui heard the entire conversation. It was in the background, just sighed. I expected this, but didn't expect this so sooner, he said, as he walked up to the two. I'll be training you two for this month. I heard the entire conversation. Naruto was distancing himself from the team. It was to be expected. Sorry, don't let it get to you. You'll come around eventually. It's just that Naruto needs to fix the feelings in his heart that he's feeling, especially after the heartwarming speech that he gave today to Mito. He said it in a teasing tone as Sayuri blushed. Idiot! But she couldn't say any words. Sisui sighed as he patted her head. Don't worry, it'll be all fine. It'll be alright. Trust me on this. Naruto, even as much as he can, he's master over his emotions. He cannot simply fake the emotions that he was feeling when he was around us. That is just the way it is. Sisui said. He remembered all the memories he and his team had. Naruto, even for him, he couldn't fake all those emotions. That is how humans are, and that is how Naruto was also. Meanwhile, with Naruto, a portal opened in front of Naruto as he stepped through it. As Naruto walked out, he looked down from the sky at the land that was gonna be sooner or later his. He needed to talk to Koyoki and then maybe Zabuza. He'll look at that afterwards, but first he went down towards the castle. He closed his eyes as he sensed her. There she is. He disappeared. Koiki, meanwhile, was changing in her room. She had nothing on but her undergarments, so she was pretty revealing right now. She had just taken a shower, so yeah. Naruto appeared in the room. He looked at her, and Koiki blinked several times before she looked at him. As he screamed at the top of her lungs, Naruto simply vanished as he used Sakuna Hikono to shrink himself as the guards came in. Ma'am, what's wrong? They both said. Where the fuck did he go? She thought in her mind, but the guards simply looked at her. Ma'am, what's wrong? They said again. Koiki shook her head. No, it's nothing. I saw a cockroach. Guards were dropped. A daimyo was afraid of a cockroach, they thought internally, as they left the room with a huge sweat drop over their head. Once they were gone, Naruto appeared in his original size again. Koiki covered herself up. Bastard. Can't you not knock or come to the door like normal people do? Naruto shrugged. When you have the ability like me, you don't want to do that. Trust me, surprising people is more fun. But get dressed. We are going somewhere. Naruto said. Koiki saw the seriousness in his tone as he nodded. She got dressed. Naruto again held out his hand as the karma has appeared, and it took a shape of Isshiki's horn. As a portal appeared in front of them. Step through. It's not dangerous. It's just gonna take us to the location that we want to go, he said as he gave him a nod. They both stepped through, and when they came out, they were in a good location. What? Where are we? It's a location in the land of snow that even you don't know, unfortunately, even after being a daimyo. How sad, Naruto said in a sarcastic tone. She looked at him. Bastard, she said. Duh, that's outside of the question. I want you to meet them, Naruto said as he pointed towards the waterfall. That was actually five people were meditating under the waterfall. Two of them, Koike had already met them, Zabuza and Haku, and other two, Suigetsu and Mugetsu. I already know them. The other three, Naruto said, pointing at the three sound ninjas. Their names are Dosu, Kin, and Zaku. They'll be a part of our military force. Trust me, having less amount of people means less training, and quantity is better over quality. Trust me when I say that. Quality is always better over quantity. Other Nissans think the first option, but I know the latter. Through the experience of 1,000 years, it's easy to say that. 1,000 years, Koiki said. It's a long thing to explain. I don't want to do that right now. But just know this. The snow village will rise above all, and we'll be at the top of the world. I can guarantee you that much. Naruto said with such conviction in his voice. Koiki was actually thinking it might be possible. So why did you bring me here? I want you to fund them. They need equipments for training, and to train, they need to get stronger for the opponents that we're gonna face in the future. It's as simple as that. I won't always be here, Koiki. That's why we need village to have strong commanders who are gonna be beside me to here just to protect the village when I'm not gonna be here. Sort of like advisor. I think Zabuza's gonna be that one, but we'll never know. Naruto said. Koiki nodded. Is that what you want to call me here? Yes, have a nice little talk with them. And listen to the demands. And hopefully you all can gain our equal ground. Okay. Is that fine with you? Naruto said. Koiki gave him a nod. Very well then, I'll be going. If people notice that I'm gone for too long, it'll be suspicious. And we don't want that right now. Koiki gave him a stern nod as Naruto opened the portal again. As he walked to the portal and disappeared, Zabuza and the others opened their eyes. He is gone, huh? Never actually greets us, bastard, Zabuza said. I take it that you heard the entire conversation, Keiki said as Zabuza stepped out of the waterfall. As he gave her a nod, yes indeed. So let's have a nice little civil talk, Mrs. Daimyo, Zabuza said. Meanwhile, in the Cloud Village, A was smirking. Killer B would be going to the Leaf Village in a month, and nothing would be stopping the destruction of the Leaf. Some of his forces, 10% of his forces are going to Konoha as well. Kumo was the largest military force in all the five great nations. The only reason that Konoha was stated to be the strongest village was because of the quality of the shinobis. Konoha always had produced exceptional shinobis. Kakashi of the Sharingan, Itachi Uchiha, Shisui Uchiha, Fugaku the Wicked Eye, Kushina Uzumaki, and the man that had bested him very easily in speed, Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. Those shinobis were the ones who were carrying the entire village on their back, not to mention Jiraiya and Tsunade of the Sanin. So many S-rank shinobis in a single village was not a normal thing. The Cloud Village maximum had 3 S-rank shinobis in their ranks. The first was A himself, second was Killer B, and third was Dari. Outside of that, A doubted that anyone could even hold up a candle next to the shinobis that were in the leaf. Same could be said for the Stone, Kiri, and Suna. So A wanted Konoha gone. And for that, he had allied with the man that he never thought he would, Orochimaru. A wouldn't be going there himself. The cloud needed protection they while he was here. So he wouldn't be going. And if the invasion failed, he could just always deny the fact that he did anything. He would just say that they were being manipulated by Orochimaru. So everything was going according to plan. He just wanted that bastard Yellow Flash to pay. Meanwhile, in the Stone Village, Onoki was standing in front of Roshi, who was looking a little conflicted. You who hate the Yellow Flash, don't you? Uh, Onoki said to Roshi, who shook his head, I don't hate him. He did what he did in order to protect his village. If I was in the same shoes as him, I would have done the same. It's war, old man. There's nothing that we should hold a grudge against. You would have done the same thing if you were in his shoes. Roshi said, Onoki clenched his fist. Listen, I'm your Kage and you'll obey my orders, no matter how you see it. You'll be going to Konoha in a month and aid Orochimaru in the invasion. Do you get it? He said. Hiroshi nodded with a sigh. He really didn't want to do this, but since he was the order from his Kage, what could he do? He was a perfect Jinchuriki, that was for sure. He was the only one in all the history of the Stone Village who could actually access the full Biju form of the Four Tails. And that was only because he had a good relation with Son Goku. It was as simple as that. Onoki smirked. Konoha will be going down. The bastard Yellow Flash would pay for what he did to his village, no matter what. Orochimaru was standing at the Hokage's monument as a portal opened behind him. As Orochimaru sensed a presence coming out, he looked at at. How are you alive? Orochimaru heard that voice and he froze. How did you find me? Orochimaru said. Naruto looked at the bastard. Well, it's quite simple. Even if you suppress your presence as much as you do, for me, it's nothing, Orochimaru. I am a god compared to you people, and that's how it should be. But tell me, how are you alive? I obliterated you to a molecular level. There should be no way that you should be alive right now. Naruto said to the snake. Orochimaru looked back with a smirk. I am immortal. I can come back in many ways, Orochimaru said. The curse you, Naruto muttered, but Orochimaru heard it, and he smirked. Yes, indeed. The Curcio is something that is to be feared, Naruto, my boy. But I suspect that you're not here for confirmation talk. What do you want? Orochimaru said. Naruto looked at him. Yeah, I think you already know what I want. Start the invasion at the first match of the Chunin exams. Orochimaru looked at him. So soon? But why? Naruto smirked. It's simple. I want things to get fired up quickly as possible. Trust me when I say this. It's gonna be beneficial for you. If you start the invasion sooner rather than later, he said. Orochimaru gave him a stern look. And what if I don't? Naruto, his karma starts spreading to his body, as his eyes turn to that of Isshiki, a Byakugan, and the Dharmagan. Well, you know what happened in the Forest of Death. Do you want the same reputation again? This time, there won't be any mercy. I'll make sure that your soul doesn't come back to any other body, because you're gonna be stored in a dimension where time doesn't pass by. Trust me, that's a bad thing. Naruto said. Orochimaru just looked at him as he sighed. You're a mystery, Naruto Uzumaki, but very well then. I'll do as you say, he said. Naruto gave him a nod as he disappeared. Orochimaru clenched his fist. Listening to your breath like that, he just sighed. Well, after he gets Sasuke's Sharingan, there was no one that could be able to stop him. Well, he could always go for the normal Uchihas, but Sasuke was a prodigy, a genius, and Orochimaru knew that. He was a perfectionist, and due to that reason, he wanted a good young body. Sasuke would be the perfect vessel for him. Orochimaru licked his lips. Once the curse seal was placed, it was only a matter of time that the person turned evil due to his influence, and Sasuke would be the same, no matter what way the others see it. And with that, this video comes to an end. I'll be uploading maybe one more video today, so I hope you guys are looking forward to it. So just with that, goodbye guys, see you in the next video.